title called Sonic Origins Plus got rated in Korea the other day, leading to speculation that we might be seeing an upgraded version of 2022 Sonic Origins in the same vein as Sonic Mania, and I think I've got a fairly good idea of what we'll actually see. I know Sonic Origins unfortunately wasn't as well received as I would have hoped. There were some glaring issues in there, but this could be a chance of redemption for the game, and surely it'll add new features. So let's have a little look at what they might include. I think it's sensible to take Sonic Mania Plus as the precedent for this title. So what did Sonic Mania Plus add? The huge additions, of course, were new characters in Mighty and Ray, whose returns to the series were highly anticipated, as well as the Encore mode. Encore mode tweaked levels with new colour palettes and different level design to take advantage of each character's abilities. There was also a fun party system whereby you had two characters together at the same time, like Sonic and Tails in normal games, and you could swap between them to do different obstacles and different paths. The other thing, of course, is that we got a physical release for Sonic Mania Plus, like the one that I've got in my hand. So the first thing that I think that Origins Plus would have is a physical retail copy. It could feature some cool art on the box, perhaps an art book or something similar to what they did for Mania Plus. Another cool thing they could do is make alternate covers for each game included in Origins Plus so that you can swap them out like you can with the Mania Plus one. I feel that a physical copy is like the only near guaranteed thing that they're going to do for this one. But as I also mentioned, Mania Plus got new characters and an Encore mode, so would that translate well over to Origins Plus? Considering they got Tails and Knuckles into Sonic 1 and CD who weren't previously able to get in there in official releases, I think there's every chance that they could add a new character for Origins Plus in each game, and the one I really think I could see happening is Amy. Playable classic Amy Rose would be really interesting and could bring a different moveset and potential difficulty changes to the original Mega Drive games, although they would have to do something with Sonic CD because two Amys in the same place would be weird. The other potential character that could make sense is Metal Sonic, of course. Metal Sonic could have some really interesting additions to gameplay. It could have almost like a mini glide, but the sort of speed of Sonic and stuff like that. However, are they going to put that in? They'd have to play around with Sonic CD again, and you would have that whole issue with the fact that he's a boss in there. I don't know. It would be interesting to see either way. But overall, if they were adding new characters, it would be Amy or it would be Metal Sonic, because it's not like they're going to put in classic Shadow and Rouge. As far as an Encore mode, I think they would do certain levels from the games and string them all together in its own mode. I highly doubt they would make an Encore style alteration for every level of each of the 4 games already available in Origins, owing to the sheer amount of work that would be involved. So if they are doing similar, it would be a highlights reel style version. I say the 4 games already available because at its heart, Sonic Origins is a compilation of games from the Sega Mega Drive era, and so it would not shock me to see new games being added to Origins. And honestly, I think there are 4 potential ones that they would add. Firstly, Sonic Spinball. This one honestly feels way more likely than the others, owing to how the island is already there in the main menu. I think this gives it a leg up personally, and it's possible we'll see them bring this title in. Perhaps we would have playable Knuckles and Tails as well. Next, Sonic 3D Blast. This is an interesting if awkward game that I feel very strong nostalgia for, and I've always loved the theme to Diamond Dust Zone. We've had several re-releases too, so perhaps this one could be added in, and I don't think we'd add new characters to it. My third pick, of course, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. This Puyo Puyo rebrand with adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog characters like Scratch, Grounder and Coconuts was a fun side game for Sonic, which was honoured in Sonic Mania as well with the boss of Chemical Plant Zone. This also had re-releases and has featured on compilations before, so it is definitely worth considering. And of course, the fourth pick. The one that I would love to have on here, despite the reports of it actually being a really bad game, Knuckles Chaotix. To me, Knuckles Chaotix is a chase game, one that I've always wanted to own an official copy of, but never have. I've even got a copy of Sonic Jam somewhere, but not Knuckles Chaotix. So that alone makes me want this more than any other game on this list. But also, you know, it was the Chaotix crew's first game, it had some interesting levels and abilities, and it would be a really great addition to this collection and could create its own unique selling point. Throw Sonic and Tails in for some Sonic Crackers style shenanigans as well, and you've got yourself a deal. As I said, Sonic Origins Plus would do very well to add some new games, and these are the 4 that make the most sense for me. Now, I know that there are the Game Gear ones and the Sega Saturn ones, and as much as I would love to see them in Sonic Origins, I feel like this is mainly like the Mega Drive ones, so I would like to see them in a different collection. But I wouldn't be averse to them showing up anyway. That covers most of what could appear, but of course Origins base game brought with it some parts that I feel could get expanded too. Museum mode, mission mode, and story mode were put in, so I could see Sonic Origins Plus putting in additions, perhaps extra missions for each game, new behind the scenes artworks, and even rare articles, and maybe a side story with Tyson Hess animations covering any additional games that get added. These could all be up for grabs with an expanded version, and I genuinely love to see more Tyson Hess animations in Sonic in general. Now that you've got to this point in the video, you might be saying to yourself, mate, that's a lot of stuff. Do you really think all of that's going to show up? No, I don't. I think that these are the things that could likely show up. For a couple of reasons. I think that number one, these fit thematically with Sonic Origins as a game. Number two, I think that this fits the idea of an expanded version of a previous compilation, and I just think that these are the things that if they were going to put in would make us excited and would still be realistic to achieve. I'm not saying that all of this is going to show up, definitely not. But I think that there's a fair chance for some of this, and if I'm going to cut it down, I think there are certain things that are more likely than others. Of course, those are just my thoughts. If there are others, please let me know in the comments what I have missed or what you think would be more realistic. Anyway, let's get into what I think is the most realistic scenario for Sonic Origins Plus. A physical retail copy feels appropriate here, and things like extra games make sense since it's a compilation at heart, and therefore additional missions and museum material based on those games would be easy guesses too. I feel like the most likely titles to show up are Sonic Spinball and Sonic 3D Blast. As far as characters and an encore mode, the thing is the games in this compilation have stood the test of time for the most part, so I'm not sure whether I could see them playing with additional or altered levels in these main games. I could also see them releasing a patch to hopefully fix some of the drop dash issues and a few of the physics issues that have shown up in the original base game. Hopefully that will come up for the base game and then also be present in Sonic Origins Plus, of course. And that's really my realistic prediction of what I think Sonic Origins Plus is going to have. I really want Knuckles Chaotix in it though, I really want to own my own copy. I know it's meant to be a really bad game, that's not the point. Of course there are plenty of concepts and ideas out there, and this isn't the only thing releasing this year for Sonic as well. We've also got that amazing Sonic Frontiers DLC. There's 3 waves of free DLC. It's going to be fantastic. If you've not caught up on it yet, make sure you check this video out next, because that's going to give you all the information you need, and also hit that subscribe button. And thanks very much. I'll see you soon.